Jim Kelly, who has really had a great year, his best ever, and he's using his weapons so much better this year. You look at this team, you see a lot of stars, and they're playing outstanding football, making the big plays. We're going to keep our eyes on a couple of those stars. Bruce Smith for Buffalo will be matched up today with Lewis Sharp, another All-Pro on the other side of the line of scrimmage. That's a matchup that we'll have our eyes on here today.
And Merlin, the weather is already played in effect. The wind chill is 29 and the wind gusting between 21 and 26 miles per hour. The Phoenix Cardinals have won the toss, but they have elected to defend the goal to the left. So wind is playing a factor, and they will kick off to the Bills.
Well, they told me just before the game, Dick, that they had selected to take the wind rather than the ball. And I've been down on that field and had a chance to feel that wind. I'll tell you, it is a major factor. Strips the body heat right away from you. But throwing and kicking into that wind is going to be extremely hard today.
Al Del Greco will kick off for the Cardinals. Don Smith and Don Beebe are back for the Bills. Bills are 4-0 this year at Rich Stadium and have had great success here in the last 3 years, as Merlin mentioned on the NFL Today. Smith third in the NFL in kickoff returns, but the one Achilles heel for the Bills has been their problems against NFC teams. They have struggled against NFC clubs, even ones that are under 500.
Well, they certainly have over the last couple of years, but this is not the same Bill team that we have seen in the past. They are really, as you said, on a roll. It will be interesting to see what Buffalo decides to do going into this breeze. They have an excellent running game, and the weakness, if there is, in the matchup on the field is in the front seven for the Cardinals. They do not match up as well as the other three units on the field. They played inspired football against the New York Giants just a few weeks ago and came within 3 seconds of winning that game, but they're going to have to play that kind of inspired football here today to control this Bills offense.
They're going to hold on the kickoff. The wind is at Del Greco's back. That's Marcus Turner, who is holding for Del Greco.
If he doesn't get this one in the end zone, you'll never see him get it there. And he won't.
It's a short kick and taken by Don Smith inside the 15-yard line. Smith still on his feet. And a fine return. He's one of the best in the game. So is Jim Kelly. Second in completions in the NFL and the third-rated passer behind Phil Simms and Joe Montana. The offensive front, Will Wolford, Jim Richard, Kent Hull, John Davis, and Howard Ballard. He's a big one. Keith McKellar is the tight end. The Bills' backfield features outstanding running back Thurman Thomas and Jamie Mueller. Andre Reed, he's great as a wide receiver, along with James Lofton. First down on the 36 and a running play. No surprise on first down as Thomas brings it up close to the 40-yard line. Anthony Bell and Eric Hill, a pair of linebackers, in on the stop. Cardinals, who went to the 3-4 defense 4 games ago, Freddie Joe Nunn, Jim Waller, and Rod Sadler, are the 3 men on the defensive line. Anthony Bell, Eric Hill, Garth Jacks, and Ken Harvey. Outstanding pass rusher. Cedric Mack and Jay Taylor are the cornerbacks, and Lonnie Young and Tim McDonald the safeties. Second down and 6 at the 40-yard line. Out of the I formation, Thurman Thomas is stopped by Jim Waller, short of the first down by about 5 or 6.
The Bills in this situation interested in doing one thing. They like to control the football and eat as much of the clock as they can. Obviously, the Cardinals, feeling that they would have a big advantage with the wind at their backs, are hoping to be able to get some points on the board. If the Bills can eat up the clock in this situation with the running game, they can thwart that thought for the Cardinals.
It'll be third down and 4, and the Bills bring an extra receiver in Don Beebe and Don Smith out of the backfield, where he's a good receiver.
Kelly has a strong arm, but this wind will even eat up a ball from a strong arm quarterback.
And the inside handoff to Don Smith. Smith looks like he's got the first down. He needed to get to the 47. Eric Hill brings him down, and the Bills maintain possession.
Certainly one of the added tools and weapons that Jim Kelly has to work with, the addition of Smith to this backfield in those third down situations. Watch the run from the shotgun formation. Just a quick fake here. Kelly hands it off inside, and Smith, with lots of room, picks up the first down.
Buffalo comes in with the double tight end, Metzelars and McKellar, and the give is to Thurman Thomas. He gets into Cardinal territory, but just barely. And we have you would think tempers wouldn't flare this early, but John Davis, who's had an outstanding year at right guard. Davis has been a surprise at that position, replacing Joe Devlin. Several big changes made by the Bills during the offseason.
Well, they had Leonard Burton in that spot earlier, but he got hurt, and Davis, who had been a question mark, a Plan B acquisition last year, has stepped in and surprised everyone, as you said. He's going to be hard to get out of there now.
Second down and 8. Thomas again. He'll get nothing on that play, and Garth Jack's the first man to meet him.
Cardinals defense, not a great front line in a sense of strength, and we mentioned that is the mismatch here. They need to move around. They're outweighed by quite a bit on that front wall, and basically what they're trying to do in the 3-4 is shoot the gaps. They're trying to angle, they're trying to move, they're trying to hit the offense for a loss, as they did on that last play.
Third down and 7. Out of the shotgun, Don Smith. In again and running back. 3 wide receivers, and Kelly loses the ball, and it looks like a Cardinal is going to pick it up. And it is. It's Cedric Mack, and he's going to go in and finally get stopped inside the 5-yard line. Cedric Mack picked up the fumble.
It is very difficult on a day like today to hang on to that football. And Kelly, who is not a fumbler, just gets blasted from the left-hand side of your screen. Watch the movement here. They're coming with the all-out blitz, and it's right there. The cornerback blitz blew the ball loose. Cardinal had a chance at it right there, but Cedric Mack not only gets the blitz pop, but picks it up.
So Cedric Mack will get credit for the sack on this blitz.
Look at the ball, loose right at the beginning and rolling out of Kelly's hands.
Cardinals with a 1st and goal at the 7-yard line of the Bills. Johnny Johnson, the running back, and Tim Rosenbaugh having trouble getting the signals to his teammates. Johnson, and the crowd is definitely a factor right here, Merlin.
A little counter step by Johnny Johnson, and he slipped on this turf. The turf is wet, and Johnson unable to get his footing.
The Cardinals have struggled. They have the worst offense in the NFL inside the 20, but they're starting at the 7-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal now at the 6. Johnson again fights his way close to the goal line, and no sign. He is stopped short of the goal line, and it was Shane Conlon who came in to meet him. Merlin, the crowd, Joe Bugle told us last night, he thought would be a factor because of the noise.
There is no question. They are a very enthusiastic crowd. The noise factor here extremely high, but the Cardinals not intimidated in this situation. They're down inside the 1-yard line.
Louis Sharp has come in as an eligible receiver for the Cardinals, and Tim Rosenbaugh is not going to take any chances right now. There is Sharp, who has caught a touchdown pass already this year against the Giants. And so Phoenix has used a timeout here. They want to make the most of this opportunity. It'll be 3rd and goal at the 1-yard line. So a surprising start has joined Johnny Johnson in the backfield. We've already told you Louis Sharp, an eligible receiver on the left side.
Big opportunity to go up in this ball game. They want the TD here.
And the give is to Johnny Johnson, and he slices in for the touchdown. So the fine rookie out of San Jose State has given the Cardinals an early lead here with his 4th touchdown of the season. And it is 6-0, taking advantage of a fumble by Jim Kelly.
Watch the surge from the Cardinal line on the right-hand side of the line as they go right at him with this play. Behind Walter Reeves, the big tight end. Tony Robbins, number 63, that huge tackle on that side.
Johnson with the score. And now Al Del Greco with Tom Tupa holding. He's been perfect in conversions this year.
No football.
No snap. And a lot of people in motion.
We had everyone moving but the center.
Bob McElwee is our referee, his crew here today. Joe Bugle came prepared for the elements for sure.
He was out here in a shirt a little while ago. He's put on the parka at this point in the game.
Encroachment, middle of the line defense will assess that foul on a kickoff.
5-yard penalty against the Bills.
There were a lot of people moving, but what the official is saying there is there was contact before the offensive players moved. So it will be assessed against the defense.
Johnny Johnson did his job, got the big tough yard to give the Cardinals the lead. Now Al Del Greco for the extra point, and the kick is good. So the lowest scoring team in the NFL, the Phoenix Cardinals, have jumped out ahead of the highest scoring team, the Buffalo Bills, early here in a shocking beginning. It's Phoenix 7 and Buffalo nothing. Buffalo 7-0. And that's the first turnover in 3 weeks by the Buffalo Bills.
They have not been a fumbling team, and it's been quite a while since they coughed the ball up, but they certainly did here. And the decision by the Cardinals to take the wind rather than the football pays a big dividend early. But, Dick, I don't think 7 points is going to win this football game. There's a lot of football left. The Buffalo Bills right now saying, hey, forget about that. And they are a confident team. They'll put that behind them.
Del Greco to kick off. Marcus Turner holding, and it's going to Smith. He bobbled it and gets another fine return. Really gets ahead of steam and brings it out close to the 30-yard line. Garth Jacks making the stop for the Phoenix Cardinals. 23-yard return by Smith, and that's what he has averaged this season.
One of the fringe benefits of getting a quick score if you're a visiting team is you quiet down the crowd. There's a sense in this stadium of quiet anticipation.
First down for the Bills on the 28-yard line. In motion comes Andre Reed, and Thurman Thomas on first down goes up the middle. And Thomas being chased from behind and brought down by Lonnie Young. A 44-yard run up the middle by Thurman Thomas.
There's some great blocking up front as this hole opens up. Center inside, that's Davis 65, Hall 67 doing a great job, and Thomas with exploding acceleration blasting away. Lonnie Young showing you excellent speed, gets a hand on his back and finally strips him to the ground. But Thurman Thomas eating him up on that play.
First down on the Cardinal 28, and Thomas going outside this time is ridden out of bounds and hit hard. And a gain of a couple. Lonnie Young in on the stop. So Thurman Thomas, who is second in the NFL in total yards from scrimmage behind Neil Anderson of the Bears, has already gained 56 yards in this game.
Big block by number 41, Jamie Mueller. Known also as one of the toughest of the people on the field. Boy, he just puts Harvey right on his back on that last play, and that's no easy task.
Mueller is now the lone setback to block for Kelly, and the pass is caught and maybe intercepted by the Cardinals. McKellers have the ball, and it is Phoenix possession. Anthony Bell will get credit for the interception.
Now, they're going to say he was down, but he is not touched by anyone. As he goes to the ground, the ball pops loose. Now, if he had been touched and gone to the ground that way, the ball would have been dead here. Let's watch this play. Metzlars takes the pass. Now, question, does he have possession? He controls it. He hits the ground. I think they may look at this one. I don't know that he had full possession, but he needs 1 foot or a body to the ground. Let's see what we've got here. Is he controlling the football? Yes, he is. And once he hits the ground, he has possession, and that's a fumble. Yeah, they're going to look at it anyway. They're going to look at it anyway.
Well, if the ball did not hit the ground, it's a turnover in any event, whether he had possession or not.
Well, it could be an incomplete pass. They have confirmed the fumble, and the ball will belong to the Cardinals. I think the only other choice would be, was it indeed
After further review, the play stands.
Play
First
stand.
down.
It is a fumble, not an interception, because it was possession by tight end Keith McKellar. So 2 quick turnovers by the Bills, and the Cardinals take over again on their 17. Johnny Johnson ganged up, crossing the 20 in a pickup of about 3 yards. Cornelius Bennett making the stop. Let's bring you up to date on the Cardinals offense right now as they lead it 7-0. Louis Sharp, Derek Kennard, Bill Lewis, Lance Smith, and Tootie Robbins, the offensive lineman. Walter Reeves, the huge tight end. Johnny Johnson is the lone back. Tim Jordan, the H-back. Roy Green and Ernie Jones, who's in for J.T. Smith, out again with an ankle injury. They're the wide receivers. 2nd down and 6. On the draw play, Johnson off the left tackle, and he'll have a first down. To the 29-yard line, Shane Conlon is there. Buffalo's defense, and they've got some superstars there, including Bruce Smith, who's teamed with Leon Seals and Jeff Wright up front. The linebackers: Cornelius Bennett, Shane Conlon, Carlton Bailey, and Darryl Talley. In the secondary, Kirby Jackson, who's nursing a hamstring pull, and Nate Odoms are the corners. John Hagee, the free safety, and former Cardinal Leonard Smith is the strong safety. First down for the Cardinals on the 29. There's Leonard Smith, and Johnson will lose a yard. A crunching hit by Bruce Smith and company.
We talked earlier about the Buffalo Bills stars making the big plays. Watch number 78. He's going to shoot inside, gets out of Louis' block right there, Louis Sharp's block, and just nails Johnson in the backfield.
Leading the team with 8 quarterback sacks, having as good a year as any defensive player in the National Football League.
The ball just blowing along the ground. The wind's so strong here, it won't even sit.
2nd and 10. Ricky Frohl has come in as a wide receiver. He's in the slot to the top of your screen.
An audible.
Johnny Johnson going outside, and nothing there. And Shane Conlon read it perfectly.
The Cardinals have done their best running off tackle, with Johnson bouncing outside. But against this Bills defense, that is very difficult. Their linebackers are extremely quick and get to the outside very rapidly, as did Conlon on that play.
3rd down and 13, and the dime defense in for the Bills. David Poole and Dwight Drain, extra defensive backs.
This is where the wind at your back helps. You can throw the football pretty easily in this situation.
And Bruce Smith has jumped. Let's see if we'll have encroachment. A penalty marker is down, or whether he was drawn off.
Smith doing a wise thing, taking the quarterback down. There will be no free play for Rosenbach.
It'll be against the Bills.
Bruce Smith.
Offside, defense, right end, 5 yards, 3rd down.
Top of your screen, number 78. So eager. He gets a little movement from the back inside, Jackson, and then right there, without movement, he's off. Can't get there quite that quick. Some offensive tackles around the league who say he's always offside, but that's not true, Dick. I know that.
It's an optical illusion.
That's right.
3rd down and 8. J.D. Williams, the rookie, is one of the defensive backs in for the Bills. Kroll has some time, but it collapses, and Jeff Wright, the nose man, has a sack for the Buffalo Bills and a loss of 8 yards.
The pressure comes from Smith on the outside. He forces the quarterback to step up, and he steps right into the waiting arms of number 91, Jeff Wright, who's there. You saw Denard, the guard, looking for Smith. That's where the double teaming was. They couldn't double team right inside.
Rich Camarillo will have the wind at his back naturally.
They'll try and block it. Watch the block coming here.
Al Edwards is back for Buffalo. They blocked 19 kicks in the last 4 years here. And they get this one off, but the wind just knocked it down.
It's going to get a great roll.
And Edwards lets it roll, and shadowing it all the way for the Cardinals is Turner, and it goes out of bounds. That was a 51-yard kick. 4:50 remaining in the first quarter.
And confuse the blocking assignments. They overload strongly to one side of the field, but the Cardinals able to get it away.
Bills on offense for the second time. First down on the 25. Thurman Thomas on the delay gets good yardage as he brings it out close to the 30-yard line. Now for an NFL Today report, let's check in with Greg Gumbel in New York. Greg?
Thank you, Dick. In New Orleans, Chris Chandler starting for Vinny Testaverde for Tampa Bay, pulls it down, comes around the left side and runs it in from 12 yards out, taking the final couple of yards the tough way, but the point after has the Bucs up 7-0. Dick?
Thank you very much, Greg. So Chandler in at quarterback has that extra dimension. Second down and 6 at the 29-yard line. Lofton and Don Beebe are the wide receivers. Beebe goes in motion, and Thurman Thomas is ganged up on in the 30 in the pickup of maybe a yard. Jim Waller there. And not to make it worse for the Bills, Andre Reed, their brilliant wide receiver, has been taken to the locker room with an ankle injury. No further report on Reed, who has had nothing short of a brilliant year thus far.
Certainly bad news for the Bills. Don Beebe is a player who's coming into his own, actually has better speed than Andre Reed, but does not have the moves, does not have the patterns, does not run as precisely. And you need that on a day like today.
Third down and 4. Don Smith in the backfield, Al Edwards, and it's Smith carries. He's got the first down. Edwards, a rookie, in at wide receiver, and Smith again running on an inside handoff. Tim McDonald making the tackle.
Cold weather football, ball security, hanging on to that football. The difference in this game right now in the rushing game and in hanging on to the football. Buffalo's been able to move the ball. They certainly have had no trouble doing that, but they have unfortunately coughed it up twice. One of those resulting in a Cardinal touchdown.
How do you figure a team like the Bills, used to this kind of weather, with 2 turnovers, and the Cardinals look like they've been playing in this all their lives?
When your hands are cold, it's going to happen.
And the give on first down is to Thurman Thomas. Ken Harvey making the tackle, a gain of a couple. 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Dick Stockton and Merlin Olsen here at Rich Stadium in Orchard Park. Close to 80,000 fans. This game was not a sellout in time for the blackout to be lifted, but fans have stormed the ticket offices yesterday, and we have close to 80,000 right now. Second down and 9. The ball is at the Bills' 37. Keeping it on the ground to Thomas, this time off the right side. Moves it up to the 40, a pickup of 3 yards. Anthony Bell, the stop.
A gain of 3, it'll be 3rd and 6.
Joe Bugle, always so positive in his approach to his team. One of the things he told us yesterday that was interesting to me, even in their losses, they go through and clip out the positive plays, the big plays, and they show that to the team. He said, it's amazing. As badly as we played last week against Miami, there were still big and positive plays in that game, although he was disappointed in his team's performance last week.
Jamie Mueller, the one back now on 3rd down and 6. And the quick pass is complete. McKellar's the tight end, and he carries a few defenders into Cardinal territory, and a first down and a gain of 22 yards. Lonnie Young finally brought down McKellar.
The Cardinals bringing their safeties up close to help with the running game, and that puts them at risk against the tight end. McKellar's one of the fastest tight ends in the NFL with great hands, does a great job on that play. And Kelly knows how to use his tools well.
First down on the Cardinal 38 with a half a minute remaining in the first quarter. Thurman Thomas tries to move the pile and gets to the 35-yard line. That may be the last play of this first quarter, which surprisingly has featured 2 turnovers by the Bills, and the Cardinals capitalizing on one of them, with Johnny Johnson going over for a touchdown.
At this rate, it's going to be one short football game.
And the time runs out, and that is the end of the first quarter here at Rich Stadium, with the score, the Phoenix Cardinals 7 and the Buffalo Bills nothing. And a big crowd and wintry weather settling into upstate New York. We're at Rich Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. Dick Stockton and Merlin Olsen. And the wind definitely a factor as we start the second quarter, with the Cardinals leading the Bills 7-0.
Well, if you ask the Buffalo Bills what's the best news at this point, it's that they have the wind at their backs now. You get a feeling for how strong that wind is. That's just a piece of plastic bag that's blown into the sky and is hovering like a kite.
As long as they don't tell us to go fly one. Second down and 7 on the 35. And Thurman Thomas trying to go outside, slowed up, and then down.
Garth Jacks quickly inside to get a piece of Thomas and slow him down and allow the Cardinal defense to catch up.
That one was by Sam Harvey.
That'll bring up third down. Buffalo Bills coming into this game with a 7-1 record. Their only loss was to the Miami Dolphins on the road. They had 3 games in succession with dramatic fourth quarter comebacks that kind of keyed the Bills' effort. And the last 2 games, they've jumped out in front and have rolled to victories.
Combined scores in those last 2 games, 69-10.
Wow. Third down and 9. And the pass to Don Smith, who's got blockers in front of him. He's got the first down. And nailed hard out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. But a pickup of 15 for the Bills. And they're driving, trying to tie this game up. Jay Taylor on the hit.
Jay Taylor is going to nail Don Smith at the end of this run. But that's a good play. A couple of blockers out in front. Richer is one, 67 Hall the other one. Taylor, who actually came to the Cardinals as a result of the trade that brought Leonard Smith to the Bills. He was a 6th-round pick with the 6th-round choice that went to the Cardinals in that trade.
10th play of the drive coming up for Buffalo. They're on the Cardinal 22. Kelly was going to Thurman Thomas. The Bills, on passing downs, will have Mueller as the lone setback and swing out Thurman Thomas as a wide receiver.
That's the kind of play where the wind can be devilish here because it's a swirling wind. That's a long pass. When they take Thurman Thomas out of the backfield that way, they can use him almost like a wide receiver. He's got great hands, runs great patterns, but on a day like today, even with the wind at your back, that kind of pass can be very difficult to complete.
Second down and 10, an impressive drive for the Bills, who trail 7-0.
Bills have been able to drive all day. What they need is points on the board.
Kelly over the top. Metzelaars, the tight end, makes a tough grab, but he's pretty tall at about 6'7", and he grabs it inside the 20. Gain of about 3, that's all. Lonnie Young brought him down.
That ball may have been thrown for Thurman Thomas, who was streaking downfield. Metzelaars, with that long reach, went up and brought it down, but it may have been going to Thurman Thomas. Let's see if we can see it. Thomas at the top of your screen, 34, circling to the inside, and Metzelaars right there. I believe that ball was on its way to Thomas. Had it gone to him, it would have been a touchdown.
Well, you can't have a 6'7" guy in front of your number 1 receiver on a play.
He thought it was his.
Total offense, no contest there, but the scoreboard has something else in mind. Third down and 6, and the pass wide open. McKellar, touchdown, Buffalo. And the Bills made it look easy. An 18-yard touchdown strike, Kelly to McKellar, and it's 7-6 now.
Left side of your screen, number 84, McKellar just going to take his man outside and then just easily leave him there. Lonnie Young unable to control. Watch Kelly responding to the blitz and the pressure, has his man all the way, gets it off at the last second. Kelly will stand in there as long as any quarterback in the league.
extra points against the Browns a week ago. This kick is perfect. And the score is tied. An impressive drive by the Buffalo Bills. And they used just about all their weapons to tie this game. It's quiet early, now have something to cheer about on a tremendous drive over 7 minutes in length, tying the score at 7-7. David Poole will be holding for Scott Norwood as he now will kick off. The wind at his back. Back deep for the Cardinals by Sikahema and rookie Larry Centers. Kick to not carrying though, and signaled by Sikahema at the 10-yard line. Runs it back to about the 29-yard line. Gary Baldinger making the stop.
Coming into today, the Buffalo Bills 4th in the league in the turnover ratio. You notice that they're a +9, or we're a +11. They are a +9 now. Or excuse me, they're +7 now because they have been nailed. They've given it up twice today. The Cardinals so far not guilty of a turnover. You see where they are on the scale. They're at a -3.
And they start from the 29. First down for Tim Rosenbaugh. Now operating out of the I formation. On the draw play, Johnny Johnson. And the Bills are equal to the task, led by the nose tackle, Jeff Wright. They move the H-back, Tim Jordan, in as a blocker there.
A gain of 1.
An extremely lopsided stat, but not nearly as important as what's on the board, and the score is tied right now. But what that illustrates is the fact that even though Buffalo did not have the wind at their backs in the first quarter, still able to control the football.
Second down and 9. Now they move Reeves, the tight end, over to the left side. Johnson has some room. And the Bills, who are very tough against any outside run, pursuing well, stopped Johnson. John Hagee came in from his free safety spot.
Bruce Smith, extremely quick, draws a lot of attention from the enemy. Watch Sharp right here. Goes inside, sets Smith up, and Lance Smith, the guard, comes out. He does not get Bruce Smith, but Bruce can't get Johnny Johnson either. He does slow him down enough to allow the pursuit to arrive. John Hagee, the man who made the tackle.
J.D. Williams and Dwight Drain are the extra backs in the dime. Third down and 7 for the Cardinals. Rosenbaugh getting pressure from Cornelius Bennett. And he's down. Smith will get the sack. But Bennett came in from the right side and very nearly got Rosenbaugh. And a loss of 6 yards on the play. Penalty marker is down, and we'll wait. And it'll be against the Cardinals. And it'll be declined.
Bruce coming from the other side of the field. You'll see him at nose tackle, over the guard, at left end and right end. And just enough of a piece right there of Rosenbaugh to take him down. And he is down from contact, so that sack belongs to Bruce Smith.
A sandwich job. There's Walt Corey, the defensive coordinator for the Bills. Job well done by Smith and Bennett. Rich Camarillo will kick. Al Edwards.
These kicks will not travel far into this breeze. Oh,
he bobbles it. Loose ball. Camarillo, and the Cardinals are looking for possession. That's all they want, but it's going to be Buffalo's ball. And a big break for the Bills. Steve Tasker, I believe, on the recovery.
And there was not a rush on the play. They were going to let him kick it, but they've always got someone coming after that punter to make sure if he bobbles the football that they get after it. Watch the ball blown out of line as it comes in here, and Camarillo with those cold hands just couldn't handle it. There's Tasker right there. The man on the spot knocks the ball loose.
There is the pressure. This is a team that works hard at trying to block kicks.
They're not coming after this one. They have the return on, but as always, one man there, and that man happens to be one of the best kick blockers and one of the best special teamers in the NFL.
You know, you wonder about the intimidation factor anyway. They were setting up a return when you're a punter looking at the films of all the kicks they blocked. And the Bills have made turnovers pay off. Number 1 in the NFL. First and goal on the 6. Kelly gives to Thurman Thomas. Thomas driving toward the goal line and gets to about the 1.
We saw Garth Jacks make an excellent penetrating tackle earlier in this game. It looked like he was going to have another opportunity at that, but he did not. Thurman Thomas, so quick, just exploded, leaped over the top of him, took it down to the 1-yard line.
Thomas has already gained 72 yards, and we have 10 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the half. Second and goal at the 1. Carwell Gardner, a rookie, at 230 pounds, is in. Jamie Mueller gets the call, and Mueller doesn't get over the line. It'll be third and goal.
It's their jumbo set, as they call it. A couple of extra linemen in. Carwell and Mueller, the big backs. There are a couple of bull elephants in that backfield.
Carwell, a second-round draft pick out of Louisville, has a lot of raw talent and good speed for a 230-pounder. Bills are perfect. The last 12 trips inside the 20. Third and goal. Play action. Touchdown. Butch Roll, the third-string tight end. Third touchdown catch of the year for Butch Roll. 3 catches, 3 touchdown receptions.
And what a great job of selling the play action. Watch how the fake here brings everyone inside, and Roll all alone out there. And Anthony Bell, number 55, just shaking his head. That's his man that got away from him.
Scott Norwood adds the extra point. So the Bills take advantage of a turnover by the Cardinals. And with 9:25 remaining in the first half, 14-7 Buffalo. Touchdowns, including 3 this season. He's their TD man, Merlin.
That's making the most of your opportunities. We started this day by saying that kicking and throwing the ball were going to be adventures today, especially when you're going upwind. But downwind, it's been a little bit easier. Of course, that pass, and that drive took advantage of the win. Ted Marcia-Broda congratulating Kelly on the sideline and saying, hey, that's what we want to do.
Short pick by Norwood, bobbled, and the Cardinals hold on to it. Larry Centers, a rookie, had muffed it, and Michael Jordan and Butch Roll going at it a bit for the moment. You know, you would think that these teams have been long-time rivals the way they're going at each other's throats right now.
They haven't seen each other since 1986. This is not, these teams don't match up very often, but right now, this victory very important to the Cardinals, who, as Joe Bugle said yesterday, are desperate for a win.
Especially after all that happened in Phoenix and in Arizona this week. Rosenbaum, first down, completes a pass underneath to about the 26-yard line. Gain of just a couple. That was to Tim Jordan.
I had a chance to talk to Bill Bidwell just a few moments before the game started, and his concern is, he said, this is not just a matter of the Phoenix Cardinals and the NFL. It's a matter that affects the whole state of Arizona. Certainly affects the Fiesta Bowl, as you saw in our pregame piece. Baseball and basketball. Martin Luther King is an American hero, Dick, and that's a matter that's going to have to be dealt with.
Second down and 6. Reeves goes strong side to the right on the 27. And we may have another encroachment penalty against the Bills. If so, it would be the 3rd time in this first half.
Defense, 5 yards. Second down.
That was Leon Seals, who's played very well at defensive end this year.
Seals replacing Art Stills, who filled that post last year, at least on the running games. He alternated in there last year. Fred Smirlis also gone from this front. They had to replace some big folks up front, but so far, Seals has done a good job of replacing Sills, and Jeff Wright on the nose has taken some heat, but he's done a good job in this game today.
Big penalty because now it is second down and 1 on the 32-yard line for the Cards. Johnny Johnson looking for the first down, lost his footing, and may not have it.
Talking to the Bills players yesterday as they practice, and I asked about this turf, and they said the nap on this carpet runs away from us, and that he was running with the nap on this carpet. And they said when it's wet, it is very slick going in that direction. You saw his feet shoot out from underneath him on that last play.
As you pointed out, this is a team that practices in 80-degree weather or hotter. Of course, Tim Rosenbaugh used to rain and wind at Washington State, where he played his college ball. They're going to adjust the clock right now to 25 seconds, and now it's all straightened out. Third down and 1 for Phoenix. Johnson dives forward. It'll be close. Johnson has carried all 11 Phoenix plays. Other than the 2 sacks, it's been a one-man gang thus far for Phoenix and for Johnson.
He's been their main man all year long, Dick. A rookie, a 7th-round pick, and I think perhaps a leading candidate for NFL Rookie of the Year. I said it early in the season as we got a chance to watch him in the opener against Washington, later against New Orleans. We've seen a lot of them. He does not play like a rookie.
They've got the first down, I believe, by inches. In fact, talking to the Bills yesterday, Darryl Talley, he said, kind of reminds us of Eric Dickerson, and we've heard that before.
I think the thing that is really impressive about him is that even though he doesn't look like he's going very fast, he's got a great long strider. One of the officials just lost his hat, and he gave up on it. It was blowing down into the end zone. It blowing hard enough he couldn't catch it. He came back to the sideline. There it goes right there. You don't think the wind is blowing here? Adios hat.
Well, the Cap got a touchdown. First down, Cardinals on the 33. And a fake draw play. And the pass to Roy Green. He's got it into Buffalo territory. He was wide open. Nate Odoms makes the stop and a gain of 21 to sometimes a forgotten man, Roy Green.
Roy Green in the matchup will go inside on this play against Odoms, and he is such a smart receiver. Gets his feet underneath him. Odoms turns him loose at that point, and there's nobody home inside. Hagee, who's the free safety, playing extremely deep, not there to pick up Roy Green. I talked to Roy Green last night. He said he had dinner with Leonard Smith, a good buddy. Went out to dinner last night with him.
Who picked up the check?
I didn't ask that.
On first down, Johnson protecting the ball. And there's the kind of moves that have made Johnson the best rookie rusher so far. He gets inside the 40-yard line on first down. Carlton Bailey and Shane Conlon on the stop, but a good game.
If you're going to run to your left, you must control Bruce Smith. The Cardinals do it here. Walter Reeves getting the first shot on him, and then Lewis Sharp just cleaning up on the block. Darryl Talley there, but just late along with Carlton, and they get a good run out of Johnny Johnson to the outside. Impressive to be able to pick up that yardage. And again, they're going into the wind with this drive and doing a good job of driving the ball.
Second down and 3, Johnson. Close to first down yardage again, and it was Bruce Smith defending the run that time.
Now there's a stat that'll pop your eyes open, but Johnny Johnson, 86% of the Cardinals' rushing offense. If you take away Rosenbaugh's scrambling yardage made by Johnny Johnson during this season, that is a most impressive statistic.
Held to only 27 yards against the Miami Dolphins last week. His lowest output of the year. Second down and third down in inches. We're going to measure right now to see whether the Cardinals have the first down. And they've got it again, just by a foot that time. So the Cardinals with a first down. We want to remind you, big one coming up. Giants with an 8-game winning streak on the line against the team they really struggled against, the Rams.
Well, they've had trouble in the last few matchups against the Rams. They still hold a grudge. It was the Rams that eliminated them as a wild card team from the playoffs last year.
Anthony Thompson, the #1 pick for the Cardinals out of Indiana, has checked in, number 34. And he gets the call, gets a couple of yards. Thompson has not had a carry in the last 3 games before that attempt, and now he comes out of the game.
Talking to Jerry Rome just before the game, he said, with the wind blowing the way it is, we probably will not be able to throw the ball deep, but what we think we can do is establish our running game and throw some play-action passes. We'll keep an eye out on Rosenbach. They are doing a good job of running the ball and may be able to take advantage of the play-action passing opportunity.
Bills lead 14-7, 2nd and 6. Johnson gets hit, and it was Bennett from behind that got him for no gain. That'll bring up 3rd down, and Johnny Johnson nearly slipped on that delay.
What a great job of pursuit by Cornelius Bennett. We have not heard his name much today, but if you're going to run away from him, you better get him blocked. Here he comes from the top of your screen, number 97, wearing his college number. He switched numbers from last year. Look how quickly he accelerates, and Johnson, who was looking at some open turf in front of him, goes down for no gain.
3rd down and 6.
It's a blitz coming.
Rosenbach trying to get some room, and the pass is overthrown, intended for Ernie Jones. And that'll bring up 4th down. So, want to remind you that the wind is in the face of the kickers, so Rich Camarillo will come in to punt it away, apparently, for the Cardinals.
There's just no way to really get a sharp shot out of there, so even though they're in what ordinarily would be range for Al Del Greco, they bring the punter into the game. Camarillo saying, please, just let me get this ball and catch it. As you remember, he dropped the last snap.
Ron Wolfley is the short man. Just keep an eye on the man right behind the center, just in case. But it's going to be the kick.
Oh, and look how short that ball's going to be.
But it's a great kick for the Cardinals, and it goes out of bounds inside the 10. So that's exactly what the Cardinals wanted. Only 23 yards, but it's deceiving with the number. He got it inside the 20. And Thurman Thomas, the running back. 2 wide receivers to the right. Thomas gets maybe a yard. Eric Hill on the stop. Well, join us here Saturday on CBS for a college football doubleheader. It starts with college football today. Andrea Joyce and Mike Francesa will bring you up to date on the bowl picture. Texas, big win over Houston. They go against TCU in the first game.
Well, if Texas wins that game, they'll have the inside track to the Cotton Bowl. They haven't been there since 1983.
And Tennessee against Ole Miss, and the winner of that game should be the Southeast Conference representative in the Sugar Bowl. A lot riding on next Saturday's college football action here on CBS. 2nd down and 9. Again, Thomas, no room to go, and a loss on the play. So the Cardinals are clamping down on the Bills running right here.
Good job of penetration again by Garth Jacks as he came up the field very quickly, and Thomas was unable to get outside, and with good penetration, unable to get inside as well. This is the kind of emotional play defensively that we saw the Cardinals come up with against the New York Giants.
The Cardinals are going to use their 2nd timeout because they're looking to get the ball back here before the end of this first half with 2:41 to go. A very fast-moving first half indeed, because the Cardinals want to get another chance before the end of this half.
The Bills have converted 6 of 7 on their 3rd downs today. This a huge one. If they can convert on this and continue to run the football, they can eat up the clock and go in with that 7-point lead. They don't want to give the Cards a shot at a touchdown or more points here if they can help it.
And it would be touchdown, not a field goal, the way this wind is blowing. 4 wide receivers for Jim Kelly out of the shotgun, and the handoff is to Thurman Thomas, trying to beat the safety, Tim McDonald, and Lonnie Young. Lonnie Young made the play, and that'll bring up 4th down. Not a bad call.
Not a bad call at all. Very safe and secure. A conservative call. We talked to Joe Bugle, and one of the comments he made yesterday, we're going to have our safeties involved against the running game. And both safeties, Lonnie Young and Tim McDonald, were right there to help stop that play. Well, and more adventure coming in the kicking game now.
By Sikahema going back. And Rick Tootin will kick from the end zone. They're coming in trying to block the kick.
And they ran into him, but it's not enough for the first down.
Sikahema trying to get loose and down at midfield, but a penalty marker down. A 5-yard penalty will be marked off. They needed 7 unless it's roughing the kicker.
I don't think it'll be roughing. It'll be running into. Watch it at the end of this play. They simply could not avoid hitting him. Tootin gets the ball off, and just as it's out of there, gets the bump right there. David Braxton, the linebacker, bumps him, holds him up. You'll see him coming from the right side, number 54. He just couldn't stop in this situation. There you go.
Running into the kicker. That's not an automatic first down.
And they're going to decline the penalty. That's a good move.
That's interesting, but they don't want to risk trying to kick it again. They'd rather put the responsibility in the hands of their defense and against this win.
Rich Stadium, Orchard Park, New York, and an animated crowd here, and temperatures started in the 40s, but lower because of the wind. This is Dick Stockton along with Merlin Olsen. Cardinals took the lead following a Kelly fumble early, and Johnny Johnson scored to give Phoenix a 7-0 lead after the first quarter, but the Bills have had a couple of impressive rolls. Keller with an 18-yard touchdown reception, and after a Camarillo fumble, Butch Roll caught his 3rd touchdown pass of the year, and it's 14-7. Cardinals with 1 timeout left, and they'll also get the 2-minute warning. They're at the 49-yard line. Rosenbaugh up the middle, completes to Reeves, the tight end. The extra effort may give him the first down. The clock is running, and now we'll have our 2-minute warning. Pickup of 11 yards on the play. Darryl Talley made the stop, and we'll break with our 2-minute warning right here. The line of the Buffalo Bills near the heater. Where else?
Those guys are big enough. They don't need heaters. They provide their own heat out there. You see a few bare arms there. Some big, big bodies.
I want to remind you that coming up shortly at halftime, Greg Gumbel and Terry Bradshaw bring you up to date with the scores and highlights around the league.
What's that Terry was eating? A hot dog? We got to talk to you. We got to talk to that boy.
1st and 10. Rosenbaugh from the 38-yard line, and the falling down is the receiver Roy Green. He was covered by J.D. Williams.
Yeah, you see a rookie over there, you'd like to go after him. Smith has moved over to the left-hand side again and is coming on Tootie Robbins on this play. Tootie matches him, in fact, can spot him about 25 pounds and does a fine job, although you notice that Lance Smith was there trying to help on the inside. Watch Green working on the rookie here. He'll try and drive him off, but that slick turf that we mentioned claims another victim, Dick.
2nd down and 10 with 1:53 to go in the half. Pressure on Rosenbaugh. The pass is dropped by Ricky Prohl. He was hit hard as well by a couple of defenders, particularly Darryl Talley, the linebacker.
They put a lot of pressure on Bruce Smith. They say he's got to be the man to get there, but the Cardinals have done a good job of keeping him out. He had 1 sack early in the ball game, has put pressure on. Tootie Robbins gets a good bite on him. He almost gets Rosenbaugh's arm on that play. I think the wind killed that pass, though.
Coming in, the Bills really paid respects to the Cardinal offensive line, said maybe the best we faced all year.
Certainly did. Tom Bresnahan, the offensive line coach here in Phoenix, coached that line for a number of years.
3rd down and 10 from the 38-yard line. Rosenbaugh trying to run out of danger, and he slides short of the first down. 4 yards shy, and he's down at the 32-yard line. The clock continues to run. Cardinals still have 1 timeout left.
Interesting decision-making time here. still probably out of field goal range because of the wind. It's going to be 4th down.
They're going for it.
They're going to go for it. Well, you're not going to get anything out of another punt here. I think it's a good decision by Joe Bugle.
4th and 4. Three wide receivers. Hand off to Johnny Johnson, and he stopped short by a yard. And the Bills will take over on downs. It was Cornelius Bennett who made the tackle. We have less than a minute. Not a bad gamble for Joe Bugle to take, but as far as the play selection, that could be another story.
Let's watch Buffalo's defense work in short yardage situation here. About 2.5, 3 yards to go, and Johnson has done a great job of picking up that kind of yardage all year long. But he can't do it here as Buffalo's defensive linemen and linebackers flow quickly to the outside and shut it down.
Johnny Johnson with 36 yards has already surpassed his total last week against Miami. And there's Kelly, and a penalty marker down. We may have a flag against the Buffalo Bills prior to the play. No, a timeout called by the Cardinals before the snap.
Called by Phoenix before the ball was snapped.
That was exactly what you were saying, wasn't it?
That's their last time.
The field was something they did not like. Either they did not have the right personnel on the field, they didn't like the set, something that bothered them enough to call it defensively.
First down on the 29. Thurman Thomas is out left as a wide receiver. Kelly dumps it off to Jamie Mueller, and he loses his footing.
That's something that Mueller worked hard on in the offseason to develop himself as a receiver. Last year, a lot of teams ignored him. Said, you're not going to throw to Mueller. We don't worry about him. Caught about 200 balls about 3 days a week during the offseason. Well, he catches it here, but can't do anything about that slick turf.
Second down and 12. Report on Andre Reed. He went out early with an ankle injury. It's a sprained ankle, and they've taped it in the locker room. Kelly's pass going deep to Don Beebe. And the Bills have a shot for at least 3. Jay Taylor on the stop, and a gain of 48.
I talked to Scott Norwood, the kicker for these Buffalo Bills before the game. He said, I wouldn't be afraid to try one from 60 with going with the wind today. Beebe in the slot, playing for Andre Reed. He's the fastest of these Buffalo receivers, uses all of his speed right there as he gets away from Jay Taylor and gets way down the field. Well, they've gone looking for Taylor. They found him on that play.
Showing some of the depth that the Bills have at wide receiver, and Buffalo calling a timeout. It is their first timeout. They still have 2 left, but only 15 seconds left, and Andre Reed with the ankle tape back on the field for Buffalo.
He is such a fine receiver, not only able to run great patterns, but good hands, and one of the best receivers in the league after he catches the football. And I'm sure very frustrating for him to sit and watch in this game, although his mates have done a pretty good job here in the first half.
Buffalo still with 2 timeouts. Scott Norwood, with the wind at his back, could try a field goal. His longest has been 48 yards this year. They've got another play, perhaps. First down on the 24. Maybe 2.
Don't be surprised to see him go for the end zone here.
Kelly's pass, caught, touchdown. Steve Tasker.
In the hierarchy of Buffalo receivers, the last name you come to is Steve Tasker. But that's exactly who gets this football. Running in the slot to the left-hand side, and I think Kelly had him all the way. Cedric Mack, number 47, ignored Tasker for just a second. That's all Kelly needed.
And the first touchdown catch of his career, and the Bills lead it 20-7. Norwood with the extra point. It's good. Steve Tasker, who was picked up on waivers from Houston, and a kick blocker in the middle of the year when Buffalo had a rally late dramatically. Their last 3 games, they have taken hold early. And it's on the ground. Larry centers the rookie. were not sure whether a Cardinal had touched it. The official moved in smartly.
Of course, in the last 2 minutes, the clock does not start until it's officially touched in the field of play, so the full 7 seconds left on the clock, but I don't know what you're going to do with 7 seconds right here.
Well, in that event, it might have been touched because 4 seconds went off the clock. So the ball did hit a Cardinal.
Well, maybe Larry Sanders got his hand on it.
Well, not much you're going to do with the win situation. Rosenbaugh with what may be the last play of this first half. Well, the Buffalo Bills, looking for their 7th straight win, have a healthy halftime lead, and that is the end of the first half here at Orchard Park. With the score, the Giants, one of the 2 unbeaten teams in the NFL, along with the 49ers, against the LA Rams. And last year in the divisional playoff, in overtime, Jim Everett finds Flipper Anderson, who caught the ball for the touchdown and kept right on going into the tunnel as the Rams beat the Giants 19-13.
Set off a celebration in Los Angeles. Well, they would like to celebrate today. And if they can win against the unbeaten Giants, you better believe they will.
See how the Giants react to being on the coast. Sometimes they lose their toughness when they get out there. We'll see. First down on the 28. Thurman Thomas going outside. Gets good yardage. Thomas gets the first down and more. And Cedric Mack with the hard tackle. But not before Thomas picks up 19 yards. And is almost to the 100 mark for the game.
Tremendous explosion on this play. The counter play, the counter gap play, a play you see Phoenix run all the time. Wolford coming around the corner, Richer coming over, and Thurman Thomas with a little counter step just booms in behind some great blocking.
And 102 yards for Thurman Thomas. His big day was against the Jets in their first meeting with 214. Kenneth Davis is into the ballgame, and he carries. Former Green Bay Packer gets it to midfield and a gain of 4 yards. Ken Harvey, the outside linebacker, on the stop. And we've got that rain coming down again.
Now we watched Wolford and Richter come around on the other side. Now let's watch the counter gap. Howard Ballard, number 75, and 65, John Davis leaving on this one. Ballard getting to the outside, gets past Davis, says, move out of the way. Watch this. Boom! A little shot right there on Tim McDonald. A 326-pounder leading that play. Hey, I'd get out of the road.
He's called the house, and he put a shot on Thane Gash against the Browns that they're still talking about. Kenneth Davis still in the game, carries, going off the left side, ridden out of bounds, short of the first down by about a yard. Tim McDonald there.
It looks like he may have picked up the first down or very close to it. No, he's going to be a little bit short. But what is important about this drive is that it's into the wind. They're running the football, eating up the clock, and all of the touchdowns so far in this game have come with the wind at the team's back. So if they can take the time off the clock, they'll take away the opportunity that the Cardinals have to put another score up. How do you hold the football if your hands are cold? That's one way.
It's not going to move that way. 5.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Mitch Barat and Glenn Parker.
That's the jumbo unit in there.
Package. And the give is to Davis, and I don't think he's got it.
It's all in the mark. He may have it, Dick. Very, very close. All in the mark at this point.
Very close.
If he doesn't have it, well, we don't have to worry about that, I don't think.
They're going to call it first down. Well, that was
It wouldn't
decisive.
have surprised me to see Marv Levy go for it at that point. Punting has been so treacherous today that it wouldn't have surprised me to see Marv Levy go for it, but he doesn't have to worry about it.
Big
First and 10.
And Thomas fumbles, and Jim Kelly covers it back in midfield. He'll lose 7 yards that time. Carl Hairston had jarred the ball loose, the oldest player in the NFL.
It's raining again, and as cold as it is, the surface of that ball has to be slick, icy. And you've seen that ball, how hard it is to hang on. Carl Hairston, Big Daddy, gets inside and gets a shot at the football. Watch him coming right here, number 98. He just slapped inside. Jim Kelly showing some real alertness as he pounced on that football.
And as we say rain, we get a few flurries. So we've got a combination. We've had everything today. 2nd and 17. Kelly's pass complete to Lofton. That's his first catch of the game. On a slant inside the 40-yard line, a gain of 12 yards. Jay Taylor on the stop, short of the first down. And right now for an NFL Today report, let's check in with Greg Gumbel. Greg?
Well, Dick, at New Orleans, Reuben Mays from 4 yards out for a touchdown. And Craig Hayward has just scored again for the Saints. It is now a 27-7 Saints lead in the third quarter. Back to Buffalo, where Dick and Merlin, I hope you're staying warm.
Well, if the season were to end today, Tampa Bay would be a playoff team, but they're losing to New Orleans now, and they could move out of that. This is going to be a tremendous fight for all the playoff berths.
And they have to face San Francisco next week. Oof. 3rd and 5. Big down here.
Kelly, Lofton.
Great play by Lofton. Wow. 2 plays in a row by James Lofton. Marv Levy spoke yesterday so eloquently about the addition of Lofton. He means so much. There he is, number 80. He is in the slot here. Just a chance at the top of your screen. Watch him now. He starts inside and breaks outside when Kelly is in trouble. He looked back for the defender, knew exactly where he had to go, and just gathers that football in for the first down. What a gentleman.
And a scholar. He went to Stanford.
Yes, he did. A marvelous addition for this football team.
1st and 10 at the 27. As he gets inside the 25, Waller and Jacks. Rich Stadium in Orchard Park, New York, and the crowd upwards of 75,000 being treated to all the elements, plus a Buffalo lead, 21-14. The time remaining in the third quarter, Dick Stockton and Merlin Olsen as the Bills try to make it 7 in a row.
The Bills on this drive overcoming a couple of big penalties and the fumble, a huge penalty and the fumble to keep this drive alive and eat the clock.
They run the ball up the middle to Thomas. First down, Buffalo. A very important drive for the Bills. Going into the teeth of the wind. Tim McDonald on the tackle. And the Bills will have the wind at their backs in the fourth quarter. The only score here in the third quarter was a touchdown from Rosenbaugh to Ernie Jones. Third time this year. He's gained 100 or more yards. His big game of the year against the Jets, 214 yards. 1st and 10 on the Cardinals 17. And a timeout.
Phoenix, bench phones are down.
So now they're going to have to make sure that the Bills don't use the phones because the Cardinals are having trouble.
Well, they just stripped them off both sides, and the thinking is if you have a disadvantage at one side, you make it equal. You take the phones off on the other side. Won't really hurt the Bills that much. They have both of their coordinators on the sideline. However, for the Phoenix Cardinals, both of their coordinators upstairs.
So Joe Bugle has been informed that the headsets are off right now while we have the problem. Still have some precipitation here. We've had some rain. We've had some snow flurries, even sleet, but we've had wind from the start today.
It's the kind of day you like to be out on the field. You don't want to be standing on that sideline because if you're playing, you can stay warm out there. On the sideline, even with one of those blankets around you and with the heater, it is still cold.
Kind of day you'd rather be up here.
Well.
Good thing about Bob McElwee and why he's an outstanding official is that he informs the crowd of the delay and why they're having a delay so that the crowd doesn't wonder. 1st and 10 on the 17. This is the 10th play of the drive coming up. Thurman Thomas barrels inside. Ken Harvey on the stop. Talking to Walt Corey, the defensive coordinator, Merlin, we asked him what's the key to the defense. He says have the offense hold the ball a long time. That helps any defensive unit.
Well, his theory very simply was we'll be fresh when we come off the field, and they've got to love this guy. And we got
on the left is Glenn Parker, a rookie from the University of Arizona. He will replace John Davis at right guard, who left the field. The 11th play coming up, 2nd and 5 on the 12. And here's Thurman Thomas off the weak side, and Thomas inside the 10. Short of a first down by about 2 yards at the most. Eric Hill on the stop.
Parker called on quickly as they run again that counter gap play, and Joe Bugle on the other sideline has got to say, hey, that looks very much like the play we run. And certainly it is a play run for so many years by the Redskins when Bugle was there. It's a play that they run very well here in Buffalo.
112 yards on the day for Thurman Thomas, one of the best in the league.
We said it earlier, this drive's so important for 2 reasons. It takes the time off the clock, takes the opportunity that the Cardinals have to use the wind at their backs.
Gives the defense a rest. A bobble by Kelly and the handoff. They do not get the first down. Rod Sadler on Thurman Thomas's handoff, and that'll end the quarter. But the Bills see what they'll do as we go to a 4th quarter with the wind at their backs now. And that is the end of the 3rd quarter here at Rich Stadium in Orchard Park with the score. The Bills 21 and the Cardinals 14.
Have elected to go for the field goal here as the wind switches over and comes to their backs.
As we start the 4th quarter, and look how the Bills have dominated their opposition. 95 points in the 4th quarter, most in the NFL, and a tremendous gap, 95-31. And Norwood now will try a 25-yard field goal to start the final period.
And they didn't even have the wind at their backs in all those 4th quarters.
That's true. 12 for 19 on the year, but inside the 40, he's been pretty good.
But this is treacherous weather to try and kick in. Snap and hold have to be perfect. That's a new holder.
Frank Reich is holding. Backup quarterback. Adam Lingner is the snapper. The kick is good. And the Bills add to their lead. 3 seconds into the 4th quarter, and we'll return to Rich Stadium after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL. Scott Norwood will be kicking off.
They're reinforcing, strapping up that knee of John Davis.
7 minutes and 45 seconds. You talked about the drive toward the tail end of the 3rd quarter. And it gave the Buffalo defense a good rest. And, of course, the wind changed. As far as the Bills are concerned,
they did exactly what they needed to do with that long drive. And they did it, most of it, with the running game. Although James Lofton had a couple of huge catches.
We saw Steve Tasker. He's had a great day in many respects for the Bills. Vaisa Kahima and Larry Centers are back deep for the Cardinals. And they kick it over toward the rookie Centers, and the kick will go into the end zone thanks to the wind.
Scott Norwood as he lined up. Now watch what happens here. We talk about swirling winds. There are a couple of balls right here. Watch what happens to those balls as the swirling winds reach in just before Norwood's kick. Look at them start to move, creeping out on the field. The official doesn't dare move because and here they come. They're coming toward the line of scrimmage. Look at this. Stop it right there. We got one here and one a little bit longer. They'd have been right out underneath people's feet.
I thought you could only play with one.
I don't know if I've seen that ever in my time. In
Rosenbaugh on first down, overthrows, intercepted by John Hagee. And Hagee brings it back deep into Cardinal territory. First interception for John Hagee.
We talked about the risks of throwing deep into this wind. You simply cannot control the football. And Rosenbaugh takes the risk here and simply rifles the football over the head of his receiver. And Hagee, who plays as Kelso did safety spot is simply waiting to pick this up. Watch the center fielder, number 22, John Hagee, just waiting for that ball to come down. Roy Green couldn't have got that one with a stepladder.
And that's John Hagee's first career interception and the third turnover against the Cardinals, and it'll be a first down for Buffalo on the 22, and a penalty has been assessed against the Cardinals.
Half the distance to the goal line.
And a personal foul has been charged against Jim Richer. No, check that, it's against Lewis. His first touchdown reception of the year. What a great fake by Jim Kelly.
When the running game is going, you must honor that fake. And look at how many Cardinals are stacked around Thomas. Kelly, all kinds of time to throw, and Beebe able to wrestle that ball out of the hands of Cedric Mack. There's Cedric Mack, 47, Beebe coming across, and Mack has good position, but he simply could not get the ball out of Beebe's hands.
Scott Norwood with Frank Reich, the holder. And it's 31-14 Buffalo. Tremendous contributions showing the Buffalo Bills' depth at its best. Bills lead it 31-14.
Even more impressive perhaps to realize that Kelly is without his top receiver. Andre Reed went out of this ball game with an ankle injury early.
Scott Norwood kicking off. Larry Centers is back, and this sails into the end zone for a touchback. Merlin, you've been talking about the effects of cold weather. Well, you made me put on these gloves. Why?
Well, one of the things that's very interesting to me, you see a lot of the players wearing these gloves, especially the receivers. Well, they've outlawed stickum in the NFL. The stuff the receivers used to put on their hands, it's in the gloves now. It's in these gloves are tacky gloves. You can feel it as you put your fingers together. Helps them catch the fall. Lofton a few minutes ago hanging on the football, I think that helped him. And if you're a Buffalo player, there's something else. If you're doing high fives during this game, it doesn't hurt as much.
That's right. Let's do a low five while we're at it. First down for the Cardinals on the 20-yard line. Rosenbaugh threw an interception last possession. Johnny Johnson fumbles. And the Bills have recovered again. And they've broken open this game and are threatening once more. Fourth turnover by the Cardinals. Leon Seals recovered the loose ball.
Early in this ball game, the Phoenix Cardinals showed us clearly that they knew how to play in the cold. But as the conditions have continued to deteriorate, they have made a couple of costly errors. First, the interception by Rosenbaugh, and right there, it's Leonard Smith slapping inside against his old teammates to knock that ball free. That's one he'll enjoy with relish when they look at the films tomorrow. Make that tapes. They don't look at films anymore.
No. First and 10 on the 27-yard line of the Cardinals. Less than a minute into this fourth quarter, and Kenneth Davis ridden out of bounds by Lonnie Young inside the 20-yard line. Davis is getting Thurman Thomas a breather right now. Kelly with 4 touchdown passes, equaling his career high, and marvelous percentage once again. Thomas getting a rest maybe for the rest of the day with 112 yards rushing, as Buffalo has scored 14 points off Phoenix turnovers. Second down and 1 on the 18. got the first down to about the 16-yard line. Lonnie Young on the stop. And when you consider what Jim Kelly has done today, he has thrown touchdown receptions to McKellar, Roll, Tasker, and Beebe. Those are not the names you'd expect to hear when you look at Kelly's touchdown, considering the likes of Reed and Thomas and Lofton.
One of the things that Kelly has done so well, and we talked about it earlier in the day, was that he has used his resources so well, taking advantage of all of the people who have been able to produce for him, not only this year, but particularly in this day, as you said. Some strange names there. But it doesn't matter who scores, you get the points anyway.
1st and 10. Davis. Davis still going inside the 10-yard line. Garth Jacks on the tackle. Former Green Bay Packer picks up 8 yards that time, and he had a very fruitful fourth quarter last week in the blowout against the Cleveland Browns.
You saw the Cardinals trying to strip the ball on that last play. There's a desperation for them now. They're trying to force the turnover.
Buffalo has scored 3 touchdowns in 4 possessions inside the 20. Of course, the Cardinals scored the first touchdown when Kelly fumbled. They had a 1st and goal at the 7. And they took the early lead. 2nd down and 2. They go to Davis again. He's got the first down to the 5-yard line. Freddie Joe Nunn that time for the Cardinals. Bills able to run as they wanted to against the Cardinal defense today.
Well, and they're spreading the opportunities around as Davis, whose name does not often get mentioned, having a chance here with a comfortable lead in the fourth quarter to show why they're so pleased to have him on the roster. And very important, Dick, to use your people. Give them a chance to get into the game situation, be productive. You never know when somebody's going to go down with an injury.
1st and goal at the 5, and Davis sent back to about the 11 or 12.
Rejected by the Cardinal defense on that play. He ran right into about 5 white shirts. Joe Bugel proud of the way his team, I'm sure, is not quitting in this ball game, although I'm sure he is also frustrated with the turnaround here in the second half.
Second and goal, the ball back on the 9-yard line. 2 tight ends for the Bills. Kelly's pass incomplete. Intended for Don Beebe, who caught the last touchdown pass, and it was good pressure that time by the linebacker Garth Jacks.
Jacks has been getting penetration during the day, several plays, and able to get Kelly before Kelly really had a chance to get the receiver open.
Davis comes out, and Don Smith comes in. Beebe out to the left, Lofton to the right. And in the slot,
McKellar the tight end.
Here's the pass. Complete penalty marker down on Lofton.
Cedric Mack has had a tough day, Dick. He just grabbed James Lofton before that ball ever arrived, and the flags came flying.
Pass interference, 47 defense. First down.
It'll be 1st and goal at the 1-yard line.
Coming in from the top part of your screen, number 80, James Lofton, streaking inside, and Cedric Mack had already grabbed him, wrapped his arms around him before that ball arrived.
It'll be 1st and goal at the 1. Mueller and Davis, and it's going to be Jamie Mueller. Touchdown, Buffalo, and they roll it up on the Phoenix Cardinals. The first touchdown rushing today by the Buffalo Bills. leading now 37-14. Highest scoring team in the NFL, showing why.
McKellar right here is going to come in, and he ends up being the trapper from the outside. Big number 84. Watch him coming in motion. Now diving into the line. Just jumps on his man inside. But that's all raw power as Jamie Mueller able to plow it into the end zone.
Penalty marker down.
Now this is a frustrated Phoenix Cardinal team right now.
Necessary roughness, 58 defense. That foul will go on a kickoff.
Frustration. Hill, the linebacker. It is 37-14, and they'll mark it off prior to the kickoff. And Scott Norwood, who kicked 6 conversions in 6 attempts last week against the Browns, when the Bills won 42-0. Now looking for the 38th point of the game for Buffalo. And it's 38-14. And the fight is broken out. Butch Roll of Buffalo, he was involved earlier. Rod Sadler in the middle there. They've got to separate them.
I've often thought that's where officials sometimes earn their money. I don't think I'd want to put myself in between those guys.
10 minutes and 43 seconds remaining. And the Bills have everything in their favor. The wind at their backs, leading 38-14. And Joe Bugle's got to keep his team together here.
Last year, more truck owners switched to Chevrolet than to any other truck.
Listen to the heartbeat.
Nearly 200,000 in just 1 year. So if you're still not driving a Chevy, what are you waiting for? More people are winning with
The heartbeat of America. Today's truck is Chevrolet.
By 10:30 tomorrow morning, one company will guarantee delivery of your overnight air packages to more people, places, and businesses than anyone else in the business. UPS introduces 10:30 a.m. guaranteed overnight air delivery. 62,000 trucks. No waiting.
You're the top. You're the Coliseum. You're the top. You're the Louvre Museum. You're the best in beer. That fact is clear. Each drop, you're number 1. Second to none. You're the top.
Heineken, America's #1 imported beer. Amstel Light, America's #1 imported light beer.
You're a cut above the taste we love. Each drop, you're the best of both worlds. You're the top.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by today's Chevrolet, who invite you to see why more people are winning with the heartbeat of America. The First Brands Corporation, makers of Prestone Advanced Formula Antifreeze, and by UPS, now offering 10:30 a.m. guaranteed overnight air delivery.
Let's see the skirmish and how it all started, Merlin.
They're trying to get people out from inside. Ken Harvey, number 56, ends up pulling Mitch Farad out of there as he grabbed him by the shoulder pads, and that got Butch Roll excited. He's over there pushing Sadler. Nobody fouled on that play. Well, yeah, they did. I guess we did get a penalty on it.
And the kickoff going deep into the end zone. Larry Centers will down it there. As the wind and the rain and the elements continue to play havoc. Well, a reminder that next Sunday is another doubleheader day of NFL action here on CBS. Begins at 12:30 Eastern. And a visit with Mike Ditka and Dan Reeves, former teammates and still close friends. They're two of the league's most successful and intense coaches who share more in common than Super Bowl appearances. They're both back from heart problems. That's on the NFL Today next Sunday at 12:30 Eastern.
Well, and knowing those gentlemen pretty well, hard to believe what they say they're going to do. They said they're going to ease up a little bit, going to pull back a little bit.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, much so.
Anthony Thompson in the game. The rookie from Indiana trying to protect the ball is stopped by Cornelius Bennett. Rich Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. 17-7. The Bills have outscored the Cardinals in the second half, winning going away, even though there's plenty of time remaining in the fourth quarter. They look the part of a division leader at 7-1. Dick Stockton and Merlin Olsen as the fans and the players battling the elements today. Cardinals on their 24-yard line. Johnny Johnson getting a breather, and Anthony Thompson wrapped up by Cornelius Bennett. Turnovers have been rampant in this game, and the Bills have capitalized on 3 of the 4 turnovers with touchdowns.
Well, you remember the Bills turned it over twice early, but then they came right back and forced the turnovers to pick up the TD. Fumble resulting in a fumble. We've had a lot of them today, and then 2 touchdowns at the end of this ball game. And as we approach the end of this ball game, I think for some of the players on the field, they hope that gets here pretty quick. It is getting colder out there.
Terrence Flagler checks in. Number 32 out of the backfield for the Cardinals. Rosenbaugh down. He was being chased by Bruce Smith. And he'll get the sack, his 3rd of the game, 11 on the year.
One of the things that makes Bruce Smith so dangerous is the fact that he can spin out of those situations. We got another fight going on over there now. Boy, this game is erupting into a nasty affair here at the end for both of these teams. Leon Seals again at the center of that controversy.
A loss of 10 on the play.
It's 4th and 16.
Let's watch Bruce Smith spin on this play. Watch him, number 78. He takes Lewis Sharp upfield and then spins back to the inside. Sharp can't find him, and although he can't get a good handle right there on Rosenbaugh, that slick field claims another turf. Slick turf claims another victim.
Or
whatever.
And the clock is run down, and we may have a delay of the game call here. By the way, that is the 2nd sack, not the 3rd against Bruce Smith. But he's got 10 on the year, and he's having a Pro Bowl kind of season. So another 5-yard penalty. If you're Rich Camarillo and you've got elements in your face and wind in your face, already down 38-14, that's a tough spot to be in.
I don't think you want to kick the ball, but Camarillo has kicked here many times. He kicked in New England against the wind. Well, and against the Buffalo special teams, who've blocked already 5 kicks this year. Oof.
Tied with Kansas City for the lead. Now look at the scene.
Oh, look at Camarillo just praying that he can get his hands on the ball. Ooh. I wouldn't want to be the center here either, trying to snap it back there. Connie Kawhi is the guy who's going to get in the football.
Standing at the goal line is Camarillo. I don't know how our cameramen can keep the cameras straight. There's the wind knocks it down. It bounces at the 26. And the Bills will have the ball at the 26. One of the best punters in the league. You can't blame him. That's a 12-yard kick. It'll hurt his average. But I give him a lot of credit just being out there. 12 yards. Timeout. Tough day for Joe and the boys.
Working to be the best.
Hasn't moved.
No, you got to give these fans some credit for still being in the stands. Kelly, I think, handed the ball off to his backup and said, Frank, your turn. Reich has gone in and a couple of times, in fact, won some ball games in relief of Kelly last year and said, hey, I didn't realize it was so hard when they're beating on me. And Kelly said, that's why I get the big money. They're beating on me all the time. Well, Reich into the ball game here.
And the give is to Kenneth Davis. And we want to remind you, coming up next, the Giants against the Rams. And Giants want to reverse a bad trend for them. The Rams have had their number lately.
Well, the Rams certainly have done well against them in the past 3 years. You look at those 88 and 89 and 90 numbers, and look at what Jim Everett has been able to do. 9 TDs and only 3 interceptions in those last 3 games. But I got to tell you, this is not that Ram team that stomped over the Giants the last couple of years. They are really having their trouble, and especially on defense.
2nd down and 8 at the 24. Carwell Gardner, 2nd round pick, 230 pounds, is in the backfield now. Here's Gardner. 7:35 remaining. By the way, Frank Reich came in to mop up at the end of the last game against the Cleveland Browns and completed 1 pass. And there is a fella who played only 1 year of college football, played basketball with Charles Barkley in high school. We're talking about Howard Ballard.
Interesting character. The offensive line has a deal with Jim Kelly on not being sacked in a game. And, of course, they encourage him to throw the ball away when he gets a little heat, and Ballard sent him 2 dozen roses at the end of last week and with a little note that said, "Remember to throw the ball away, Jim."
You would remember the flowers.
I would remember the flowers, yeah.
3rd down and 5 at the 21. Right, nowhere to go. And that'll bring up 4th down.
You've got to wonder what you're going to do on the 4th down here. Maybe you give your field goal unit a chance to practice in this kind of weather. They're going to see some of it later in the year. Well, maybe not. Levy may decide that there are enough points on the board right now.
Reich in relief of Jim Kelly, who threw 4 touchdown passes. His career high is 5 scores against the Houston Oilers.
Just a final tag to that story on Ballard. He lives in Ashland, Alabama in the off-season, and he works for the Sheriff's Reserves down there. And one of the things he did in the off-season, he bought him a new sheriff's car down there. He said, "Hey, they used to give us the old beat-up cars." He said, "We needed a new one."
He's in good with the law enforcement folk. Kenneth Davis carries the ball, and that'll turn it over to the Cardinals. So Marv Levy not about to do anything fancy with a 38-14 lead and getting up slowly.
Tim McDonald, right, the man who replaced Leonard Smith as a safety when,
that's bad,
being helped from the field. Their leading tackler this year on defense, a Pro Bowler, an All-Pro safety, and that is a little bit frightening.
All-Pro safety, one of the strengths of the Cardinals' defense. They don't have a great pass rush, so they depend a lot on McDonald and Young, and they have delivered. And the Cardinal defense has not been all that bad this year, despite the 2-6 record coming in, and now 2-7.
Well, this has been a team that has had to struggle all year, and they have fought, and I think partly because of the upbeat and positive attitude of Joe Bugle. But the one thing that would scare me right now, if I were Joe Bugle, is they have had a lot of tough losses on this season. I don't think any loss tougher than the one they suffered against the Giants just a few weeks ago. A game that we had an opportunity to watch, in which they played so very well, only to watch a field goal take them out of it with 3 seconds to go in the game. The concern I would have, if I were Joe Bugle, is that my team would lose heart, that they would begin to accept losing, as some of the Cardinal teams in the past have.
Saw Leonard Smith go over to McDonald, former teammates, as he was carried off. 1st down for the Cardinals, and Anthony Thompson, the rookie, getting some playing time. Number 1 draft pick. Tough spot to be in. Out of bounds after a couple and really given a shot. Thompson didn't like it at all. Leonard Smith. There's Jim Kelly's final numbers, and he shouldn't drop too much from the high ranking, should he?
Has an excellent spot as a passer in the statistics of the league, and I think those numbers will boost him up. 4 TDs, 1 interception on the day. Impressive again how well he was able to handle this bad weather. You remember a couple of those critical passes he threw against the wind today.
How about Minnesota beating Detroit after knocking off Denver? Thompson for a couple of yards. Kelly came into the game as the number 1 rated passer in the AFC and 3rd behind Phil Simms and Joe Montana in the NFL. Winding minutes to go in the game.
Quite a few substitutions on the field for the Buffalo Bills defense. Up front, Ballninger in there. Lodish in there. Mark Pike, a whole new defensive line.
Marcus Patton, number 53. Third down and 5. And the pass overthrown, intended for Roy Green. That'll bring up fourth down. Camarillo will come in to kick again.
We talked earlier about the war going on the field between Bruce Smith and Lewis Sharp. Showed you some of that as Smith able to get in for a couple of sacks on the day, and Sharp able to hold him out on a couple of critical downs. When you put two great players nose to nose, both usually come out of the game feeling that they have not had a great day.
That's a good point. Camarillo will kick. Last one went 12 yards. Al Edwards is back deep for the Bills. That kick doesn't go much more than the last one, and it takes a Buffalo roll out of bounds inside the 40.
Every kicker should have to come and kick into this wind. I think there should be an asterisk by the kickers who kick in bad weather and outside.
Second straight 12-yard punt for Camarillo. Next Saturday at 12 Eastern, college football doubleheader, and it all begins with Andrea Joyce and Mike Francesa. They've done an outstanding job in our studios. Game 1, Texas against TCU. If Texas wins 2 of their last 3, they've got the Cotton Bowl. And in the SEC, well, the winner of the Ole Miss Tennessee game controls its own destiny, and the winner goes on as the host team in the Sugar Bowl. Big doubleheader next Saturday on CBS Sports. Carwell Gardner is the running back, first down on the 39 of the Cardinals. Played for Howard Snellenberger in his college days, picks up a couple. Bell and Bavaro on the stop.
He was a defensive lineman, and Snellenberger said no, he's got too much speed, too much talent. Took him out, put him in the offensive backfield, and he said he reminded him a lot of Alonzo Highsmith. Snellenberger was his coach at Miami, moved him from the defensive line to a running back position, and that story continued on for there as Highsmith today is playing for the Dallas Cowboys. But he was very high on this young man, and they were able to get him, bring him in here, and look forward to having some productive times out of him.
Oh, they got a horse on the offensive line and a horse in the backfield.
Well, they certainly do. They like his blocking ability as well as his running ability.
And a timeout called by the Cardinals. Now, that's a strange call. Very strange. For a team that would like to see this game end forthwith.
I don't think it can end soon enough for all of the players.
Now the Buffalo Bills will win their 7th in a row and go 8-1 on the year, but take a look at the last 3 weeks of the season when they play the Giants on the road, Miami here, and at Washington. That's going to be a big test for the Bills.
And leave that up for a second. The strange thing to me about that, they always talk about not allowing the Bills to play at home in that December time frame. They want to put them on the road, so the weather's going to be better. You're going to tell me the weather in New York and the weather in Washington, well, maybe a little bit better, but it's not going to be summery weather down there.
They lost to Miami, their only defeat the second week of the year, 30-7, and they'll have the elements in their favor for that rematch. Under 4 minutes to go in the game, 2nd down and 6. Frank Reich, the quarterback. Carwell Gardner gets the call again and drives the pile a few yards. Elston Ridgel getting a chance for the Cardinals defensively up front, makes the tackle. Let's take a look at Phoenix. They are so happy, I'm sure, that the last 4 games are over, huh?
Yeah, and to go home, too. They finally get a chance to play at home, which is something they had done very little of. The opposite kind of problem that Buffalo has. It's so hot there early that they try and get them out of town early and give them the latter part of the schedule at home. But they are coming off a terribly vicious period of time.
And they finish that way and could be a spoiler, perhaps, against the Giants in Philadelphia in their last 2 games against NFC contenders.
Trying times for Joe Bugel.
3rd down and 2 on the 31-yard line with 3:10 remaining. Gardner not going to make it. Freddie Joe Nunn wraps him up. I want to remind you that this game is presented by authority of the National Football League, and this CBS telecast is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, Buffalo Bills, and the National Football League is prohibited. New Orleans trying to strengthen their wild card possibilities. They'll win again, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they are mired in a slump, and they can look forward to the 49ers next week on the road. 4th and 5. Gardner. He's got the first down and more. And he stepped out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Good enough for the first down. Mitch Farrat with a good block, a gain of 14 yards.
Watch the blocking as they explode for him. Ballard pushing inside, Farrat leading. Tackle coming, Wolford from the outside, Farrat with a fine block, and Carwell showing you some good speed. Carwell Gardner exploding out of there, running over one tackler, picking up excellent yardage.
Zordich knocked him out of bounds, so here's a situation in which everyone knew, the Cardinals knew they were going to run the ball and couldn't stop. First down on the 20. Most of this crowd is left. Gardner. And that should set up the 2-minute warning. So 2 minutes remain here at Rich Stadium, and we'll be back.
2-minute warning.
Today's small cars are tougher than ever on oil. Their high-compression engines not only rev high, they can run hotter than regular small car engines. Their searing heat can begin to break down an oil immediately. That's why there's...
Most of the crowd is gone from Rich Stadium in Orchard Park, New York, but they saw an impressive Buffalo Bills machine rolling on. They're leading Phoenix 38-14. Timeouts remaining, not a factor in this game, and Leonard Smith, the former Cardinal, enjoying it all.
Well, he said that he was not bitter about being traded. He was an all-pro at the time that he was traded, a leading tackler for 3 years, defensive captain of his team for 3 years, and told me yesterday, he said, they told me, Mr. Bidwell, Mr. Wilson told me I wouldn't be traded. He said, I was building a house. He said, I was counting on that. He said, suddenly I was on the road. Well, he has played well here in Buffalo, and I'm sure the Bills are glad to have him.
Gardner carries and still going. Well, we want to remind you that tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes. If war breaks out in the Middle East, the Pentagon has a $12 billion baby that can shoot down any attacking helicopter. Sounds good, doesn't it? But it doesn't work. $12 billion, and it doesn't work.